everyone, welcome to Book Club. This is Double Booked with Chris and Chris. I am Crystal.
I'm Christina. We are two Canadians who were brought together by a smutty book club and our love for reading.
Today we have our very first book club book, which is Shield of Sparrows. We've been so excited for this one.
So excited that when we both finished reading this book, we did not discuss this book together because we knew that we would have a much harder time filming this book club discussion. So we have not shared, other than our initial thoughts of the book, we haven't discussed this book at all. So to give you a little background about this book, like Crystal mentioned, we read Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. This is I would say a romance fantasy novel for adult audiences. There's a good amount of romance, of spice in this book, but it's also quite gory, I did find at certain points. There's a lot of descriptive language when it comes to some of the violence and magic that happens in this book. Now, for those of you who are new to the world of Shield of Sparrows, let me just read you the blurb that we have. The gods sent monsters to the five kingdoms to remind mortals that they must kneel. I've spent my life kneeling, to their will and to my father's. As a princess, my only duty is to wear the crown and obey the king. I was never meant to rule, never meant to fight, and I was never supposed to be the daughter who sealed an ancient treaty with her own blood. But that changed the fateful day I stepped into my father's throne room, the day a legendary monster hunter sailed to our shores, the day a prince ruined my life. Now I'm crossing treacherous lands beside a warrior who despises me as much as I despise him, bound to a future I didn't choose and a husband I barely know. Everyone wants me to be something I'm not, a queen, a spy, a sacrifice. But what if I refuse the role chosen for me? What if I make my own rules? What if there's power in being underestimated? And what if, for the first time, I reached for it? Okay, Crystal, tell me what you thought of Shield of Sparrows. Your initial thoughts and reactions of this book.
I really liked this book. It was the first book in a long time where, I'm not usually a nighttime reader because I get so excited. But this one I couldn't put down. I read until 1:30 a.m. and I'm barely squinting through and I'm like, oh, what time is it? And it's been 2.5 hours since I looked at the clock class. Yep. It really had me I went through the emotions. I was happy when they were happy and I was mad when they were mad. The world was really good. I love a very descriptive visual book. And this was very descriptive and visual, which was great. I love that. And the monster, everything. So good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would say I'm similar to you in that I absolutely loved this book. And from the time that we picked it as our book club pick, I think I was done in 48 hours. I read in bed. I read all day. I couldn't put it down. And it's not a short book. It's over 650 pages long.
It didn't feel like that. Crushed it.
No, it went by so fast, and I was worried. At one point, I was worried that I was reading it too fast and I wasn't going to remember anything.
I know. Same. I was flying through it. I'm we're going to do this for book club. I need to remember things, important things. And
I know.
It was so good.
I know. I took so many. I took so many notes, and I don't normally. I don't normally do this.
Things, Kindles. I was on my phone doing notes. I've never really highlighted books on my Kindle before, and I was highlighting things with little notes on them, which looking through just before doing this, I'm my little notes are so funny. But yeah, no, I really liked it. I feel I've been waiting for something. You and I have talked about this a lot, where I'm I just want something that's a little bit different. I've been wanting something, and this has some things it's still kind of an enemies to lovers, but everything else in the world is so different. And I was oh, this is so unique. I love the story. It had a lot of my favorite tropes, but still done in a nice way. It was just it was a refreshing book to read.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel we've a lot of the books that we've read recently, including book club books, but also in our personal reading as well.
Yeah.
A lot of it has felt very like fae heavy, and I think we've had the discussion previously of like we're
Yeah.
tired of the shadow daddies, and so this was yeah,
That
a
is my
breath
hot
of
take. I'm
fresh
a little
air.
bit tired of shadow daddies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I would definitely 100% recommend this book. In
Oh,
my question, would you recommend this book? I said 100% yes, exclamation mark, because
yeah,
I need to
definitely.
talk
Like,
about it with
if you're a
everyone.
fantasy lover, yeah. No, it's so good. Like, it's so, so good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we love it.
Okay. I know we didn't do a whole lot of like pre-discussion, but I'm already ready to like jump into spoilers or
Yeah,
potential
I know.
spoilers
It's hard to
in
hold back.
in our questions. Yeah. Other than like, and
100%.
we'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. Um,
Yeah.
but you have been warned. We do have in our list of questions any upcoming answers may have spoilers. So if you haven't read Shield of Sparrows and you are wanting to read without being spoiled first, please click off and then come back when you're done reading it. If you have read it or you don't care about being spoiled, let's continue.
Continue. Oh, the very first page of this book. So good.
Yeah, I know. That was so our first question is what were your favorite or least favorite moments? And the opening chapter for me, I was so concerned at first because she's talking about like I need to jump or maybe I should jump, like just the way that it's described and
No
like
one would
it's
miss
written
me.
in such a way. Yeah, it's written in such a way that you're like, she's gonna take her life. Nope, she's just going cliff jumping. She's just going for a swim.
She's cliff jumping. Oh.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
loved
just
it so
like,
much.
yeah, the sadness in her, and you can tell how deeply unhappy and like lonely she is. Like her
Yeah.
loneliness in the first parts of the book, and like it does carry on throughout, is just like so heartbreaking. And she's like, yeah, as a princess and doing it, and then yeah, and then her like having to like scuttle back for this important meeting and everything, and she's just like drenched.
I know.
And this is where we first discover that she disguises the color of her hair,
Mm-hmm.
which from the very first moment I was like, why? Like that was like lights going off for me. This is definitely
Mm.
probably a part where I thought it was one thing and it was another, which we'll talk about it more if I feel like that's like a later, but yeah, I definitely was like, oh, why? Like that was like a trigger, like light bulb moment for me from the get.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are they coloring
Yeah.
her hair? Then we enter the evil
Yeah.
stepmom.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I know. That made me so mad of like why do I have to like why does Odessa have to hide herself or hide the way she is? Like that that upset me a lot.
Oh, dressing her all in gray. I'm like, wow, we're not being subtle. We're like, we're gonna dye your hair, your beautiful red
Mm-hmm.
hair,
I
like a
know.
muddy brown, and you're gonna wear gray, and like your
Yeah.
kingdom colors are supposed to be like blues and pretty like colors, and you're like in a
Yeah, very like
seaside castle,
vibrant
and they're like,
turquoise. Yeah.
yeah, and they're like, no, gray, gray for you.
Yeah. No, you're drab, you're boring.
And
There's nothing special about you.
yep. And I think in the beginning, this is where we first meet one of the priests as well, right? In those first
Mm-hmm.
couple
Yeah,
chapters when she's coming back
the
from the cliff.
Voster.
The Foster. In my brain, I keep calling them the Volturi, but that is not, but they're the
No.
Foster. But
Yeah.
while reading it, I was like, the Volturi, and I'm like, that's not what it's.
Yeah.
But maybe
Yeah.
that gives a hint to how I feel about them.
Okay, I found my note about the Voster, and it was basically, can everyone feel Voster magic, or is Odessa just sensitive to it? Anyway, we learned that she's just sensitive to it, which I think I like. I'm intrigued about where that storyline is going.
But yeah, I was really right there with her when she was like, but doesn't everybody feel their magic? And the Guardian is like, no, like, that's weird. And I was like, oh, I know. The breadcrumbing in this book was so good. Like,
I know.
little
I know.
little hints.
There's I feel like there's so much, and I haven't read any like theories or anything, but I came across one today that was something along the lines of, like, because, and I had forgotten this until I read this in like one of the chapter summaries, was that like the crux at the end, when the Guardian kills the crux, she becomes a woman.
A
So
woman. Yeah.
is
With red hair.
was Odessa, yeah, so was Odessa's mom one of the Crux that stayed
Oh.
behind and then fell in love with the king, and so Odessa is part Crux or something like that. So that's why she has this magic
Yeah. So
thing.
that's I kind
Anyway.
of that's definitely what I think. I'm also like of my own theory. I'm like, is her mother really dead, or is
Mm,
she just gone,
yeah,
or did she get died because everybody found out she was?
right.
So because they're
Yeah.
with her stepmom changing her hair and making sure that that was very like, even though she'd been kind of hiding her, like she kind of like teared up as she was leaving, like there was something in like when
Yeah.
she ship. But we're going past, we're like, yeah, and then they get to like the throne room, like where they're like introducing the sparrow, because the whole point of the sparrow is that this is like the treaty that keeps all the kingdoms from fighting.
Yes.
And like these are these brides being shipped around every time there's like a new queen needed essentially in all the kingdoms, and it rotates who goes where, which I thought was such a cool idea. And as it was like
Hmm.
explaining the Shield of Sparrows, I think feel like this was like one of my notes that like theories that didn't come true. I was like, oh, is her sister gonna be the sparrow and she'll be like the shield, like shield sparrow, that she'll have like some sort
Mm,
of defense or something. And then when you actually get to the throne room and her sister is not picked to be the sparrow, which was so good. I loved that
yeah,
scene so much.
I agree. And
It was so
I
good.
think so in the question like who's your favorite character, I actually like I really love Odessa, and one of my favorite things about her is the fact that she doesn't know what she's doing. Like she hasn't been
No.
trained. She's not like your typical FMC where she's not the chosen one. She wasn't
Yeah.
raised to become the
She was
sparrow.
always supposed to
Um
be the spare.
she
Like
like
she was,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
even though she's the oldest, she's May's spare.
yeah.
And so the fact that and all her teachers were like, you suck at fighting, you suck at dancing, you can't do this, like don't play with swords because you'll hurt yourself. Like
Yeah.
so
Oh,
I really thought that whole character aspect really made her future
so
struggles
likable.
seem more real, and like okay, she has to learn how to do all this herself. Like I love the
She's
training
gritty.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
love the
love that
training scenes.
she
One of my
like I love the he trains her trope. It is like top tier for me. It is one of my favorites. In one of
yeah.
my favorite series. It's so good. I love there's just something about it's maybe like that ghost like sexy behind the pottery wheel or here let me show you the shoot the pool cue moment. Like there is something except for I mean he did like smack her in the face, which troublesome a little bit,
Yeah.
but we I love it.
One of my favorite lines when they're training in, I think like one of the first places they stop for camp when they're traveling back to his homeland, um,
Yeah.
is I think she's managed to get better, I think, and she's like, why aren't you like essentially why aren't you giving me compliments or like telling me how good I am or how good I've gotten? And he goes, praise is
I
for the
love this.
bedroom cross, not the training ring. And then it continues, and she's
It's
talking like she's
so
in her head now, like the image of
oh
him in a darkened room, shirtless, whispering praise into my ear, popped into my head before I
oh
could stop it.
oh this book this book is witty banter at like top tier. Like Jessa is hilarious and
I
she's so sarcastic and she's so funny. I love that she and like realistic humor too. Like she's just like a little bit dry in her humor as well, which I think is funny. She's just like
yeah.
and I love yeah, watching her discover how strong she actually is was like and she wasn't a whiner like at all. She was like in there
Yeah.
like she didn't have to train. That was her idea. Like she was
Yeah.
like, no, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. And like the fact that she's like, I want a sword. And he's like, you can't handle a sword. Like on the ship, I think. She's like, give me a sword. And so he gives her his sword, which is way too big for her. And she's like holding it to his neck. And she's like struggling. You can see her arms like shaking because it's
They're
so
heavy.
heavy.
Yeah, she was like, I was the inside princess, not I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and their tension, like right from the get-go, like especially in a first book, I love slow burns. Like I love tension and yearning and the banter. And this book does it so well, like from the beginning. Like when
Yeah.
he's like looking at her in the throne room and she's just off to the side, like waiting for her sister to be picked and
Yep.
go about it. And then he's like staring her down and like them on the ship was so funny. And yeah, the witty banter throughout, like a bunch of my lines or like things that I highlighted on my Kindle, and it's just like note lol, like laughing throughout because it's so funny.
Yeah.
I think
Definitely one of my faves. Like
yeah,
this is one of my favorite books of the year so far.
yeah,
And like just all the different twists and turns at the end of the book, like so many
so many
like I
twists.
feel like I was getting whiplash in the best way possible because there were so
Yeah,
many like I didn't see that coming. And like again, in my notes, I wrote so many like this is what I think is going to happen. None of it happened. None of it turned out right. Other than I think Odessa and the Guardian are going to have something going on.
yeah. I feel like for me that twist I clocked early, like in my
Oh,
notes. They're like in the throne room, and like who she thinks is Xavier isn't speaking. And like when they say the vows and then the guardian says the vows that I like highlighted, I'm like, this dude is not the real prince. Why
see,
is
I
the
didn't
guardian
I
talking?
didn't see that at all. I didn't clock that at all. And
No, I clocked that right from the beginning. And I was
I
like,
was
that's
so surprised.
suspicious.
I
No,
was
I have
so surprised.
that one I had because I was like, seems suspicious. And it's like that, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. And I'm like, no, that's sus. Like, why is he not saying anything? And why is this guy talking for him? And I was just like, and just like little things. There's like, at one moment they're like fighting, and she's like, I'm not your wife to command, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, are you? Are you the wife?
Mm, mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
you
that one I
clearly
saw
did a better
coming.
job than me.
That one, yeah. That one I was like, I knew it from the beginning. I knew that one. But yeah. But
Yeah.
it was subtle though. But I feel like once you start reading as much as we do too, like you're like almost looking for the clues a little bit.
Yeah. And again, I missed most of them. But I feel like on a reread, because I am gonna reread this book, I'm gonna be able to like pick
Oh,
up more. All the like you
yeah.
said, all the
When the
breadcrumbs. There's
second
so
book
many
comes
breadcrumbs
out.
in this book.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
so
doing a reread
many.
when the second book comes out.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything that you would change, or improve from the book?
Yeah. Actually, so there's one part. Like I was so mad when the twist comes out about Jocelyn, or like when she finds her lady's maid Jocelyn with her husband. And she just like at that point they're like, I wanted her to get a little bit better. Like I wanted a little bit
Mm.
of like I feel like Dre got off way too much with that one. Like but in the moment, well, she still thought.
Yeah, but like I feel like Odessa in the moment is
Mhm.
like she's mad. You get that initial like spike of anger, and then she runs off. But she also, it's not super deep because she doesn't actually care about him.
I know, but she just has had like people lie to. I was like blood boiling at this point. Like it was more so like her lady's maid, and her lady's maid thinks that this is her husband. And
Yes.
like obviously we
Yeah.
find out more later on that Jocelyn is a spy and that she was trying to do other things for this. But in that moment, like it was just such like even the fact that he knows that she thinks that he is her husband. And I'm like, you couldn't find anyone else but the lady's maid? You got
I
one
know.
job,
Yeah,
dude.
that's
You got one
that's fair.
job. And it's
Yeah.
insulting because I was just like, I just wanted like a little slap and like a stare down or like a little
Yeah.
bit of like an F you because I was like, even as her fake husband, that was rude. Like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, the shock with both of the ladies' maids, that was crazy. That was good
Yeah.
twists.
Again, didn't see the other one coming either. Okay. The thing
No,
that
that
I
one really
would,
got me.
yeah, the thing that I would change, I didn't like the fact that the infection was called Lissa because that's the nickname of one of my friends. I was like, Lissa is a person's name, not the name of
Yeah,
like an illness, a disease.
that's true. It's a very like pretty name for a very
Hmm.
scary thing. Yeah,
Yeah, so I
yeah.
don't know what I would change it to, but
No.
I wouldn't call it Lissa.
Yeah, yeah. No. I think yeah, for the most part, a lot of this was seamless, and I always feel like it's hard to like say what you think you would change in a first book in a series because who knows what's being set up for what. But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like everybody could have just like she had a right to be mad. And everyone's like, you just need to get over this now. And I was like, no, she could be mad.
Mm,
You guys suck. And
yeah.
then everybody knew, like even the
Yeah.
people that she like trusted. Like one of my favorite characters is Tilla, who like helps train
Hmm.
her and everything. And she's like, you knew. She's like, yeah, I knew. And she wasn't like mad at her. You know, I don't get that either. But like everybody and like her family has obviously been lying to her for years. And now she's kind of starting to build a found family in a place that she didn't want to or didn't expect. And I'm like, oh, everyone's just. I was just so mad on her behalf. I was like,
Yeah.
poor,
Yeah, that's fair.
poor Odessa.
Which I think, but I think that helps. Like, I really appreciate the relationship that she builds with the Guardian too, because
Yeah.
like, yeah, he doesn't tell her stuff right off the bat because he expects her
No.
to be a spy. But as their relationship
World's worst
grows,
spy.
like, yeah. But as their relationship grows, like,
Yeah.
he begins to open up to her more, and
Totally.
she finds a way to get around certain, like, I think a bunch, like all the people
Hmm.
from that nation, like basically signed a blood oath that they couldn't talk about
Yeah.
certain things.
That was a
So
cool
she's able to
twist.
like kind of work her way around that to get the information that she wants so that he's able to share with her. Um,
Totally.
and I really appreciate that.
Oh, the secrecy behind the
Yes.
capital city was wild.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
everybody and everyone being weird about it. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen something quite like that in any book where it was like, and we still didn't even
Mm-mm.
get there by the end of the book. Like I thought for sure the book would kind of end there. And yeah, nope, we didn't
Mm-hmm.
make it.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
so good.
Yeah. What did you find was the most satisfying or disappointing part of the story?
Oh, satisfying part. I feel like like it was quite satisfying, like when she like really kind of stepped into her own. Like, oh, there's a few things. I feel like when I don't even know, that's a tough one. I feel like her like at the final battle when Banner kind of comes out of the mist and he's like thinking she's gonna be an easy kill so he can finally get his revenge on the Guardian. And she's like, no, like, I'm not that girl. Like, bring it. And I was like, yeah, get it. I mean, I was disappointed in him for being such a douche, but when she was like, no, I'm gonna fight this off. And I feel like that whole ending, though, that was great. It got wild. That was a wild
Mm-hmm.
ending. Like, things
Yep.
going everywhere. But no, I was pretty sad. I was like, get it, girl. Like, this was good. And
Yeah.
also, when you finally got to the spicy scene was so satisfying. It was everything we wanted. And the
Mm-hmm.
lines, that moment actually has one of my favorite lines in the book, one of my favorite quotes, and I highlighted that one. And she was like, I thought you'd have better stamina after he'd been like saying that to her in training. And I died. I was like,
Yep.
this bitch. Yeah. I love that. That honestly, I think that was probably the most satisfying part. I thought she'd have better stamina.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
showed her she
I
was
would say
wrong. And I was like,
I
yes.
know. Their relationship. I just really love their relationship. I was gonna say my most like disappointing part of the story, and like I wasn't disappointed at all, but I was like disappointed in certain character development because like girl be better. But I was like, and maybe I read this wrong because like obviously Jocelyn's a traitor, but I also interpreted it too that Brielle was a traitor as well, because she was engaged or whatever with Banner. And
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong,
I,
but I was like, I was disappointed in like just in Brielle. Well, I guess in both the ladies' maids.
yeah.
Like you, like come on,
Yeah. With
like just be better.
Brielle, I think at least was more genuine than Jocelyn. I think she really did care about Odessa.
Yeah,
Um, she was in love with Banner, and I think she was also kind of like similar to Odessa, where she was like a reluctant spy, or she was like she did not want to be there, she didn't want to do it. I think Jocelyn was much more calculated, and Brielle was just kind of like it was still a betrayal, 100%, but it was less calculated, I think for sure, on her
yeah,
part.
yeah,
But yeah, I was disappointed by both of them. I think, yeah, that would be my biggest disappointment as well. I was like the ladies' maids. But
yeah.
they
But
were
again, it's not like I'm not
unhelpful
disappointed.
90% of the time.
Yeah. And like again, I
Yeah.
wasn't disappointed with the story. Like I thought
No, no,
obviously it
no.
had to like this was how it had to go to work, like for the story to continue. But just I was disappointed in them as people.
Yeah, literally, because I was like, they were okay. They were kind of useless as ladies' maids, like on the
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
No, I mean, to be fair, seasickness, not a great time.
Yeah.
But they just
That's hard.
weren't
That's
that
rough.
great. Yeah, throughout. But yeah, that I was so devastated for her. Again, I was like, this poor girl just like gets to have nobody and nothing. Like she just has like everybody kind of lets her down. And
Yeah.
I'm so sad for her. I was like, why can't she have like one friend? Her only friends are a tiny baby monster and a 5-year-old. And those are the two few things she can count on in this book. Which, two amazing
Yeah.
characters. Evie, 5 stars. I love that little girl.
Mm-hmm.
100% would adopt.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Faze, I'm like, there's nothing more that I love in like, especially if this isn't cozy fantasy, but in like a cozy fantasy or something where they have like a magical pet or like some sort of like sidekick. And I was like, yay! I can just picture this
Yeah. And
cute little baby.
I liked when they're traveling back from I can't remember what the town is called, after they defeat the Barrow Wolves, when they're traveling back with the people. Oh no, they weren't. It was when the king burnt down their house, um,
Mm.
with the guy who wrote the book and his son, and
Yeah,
they're traveling back, and his son's like, can I hold Faze?" Like just to like help calm
yeah,
him down. And so he's like
yeah.
an emotional support monster.
Oh my gosh, what was his name? I feel like it was like the author, Samuel something.
Samuel something. Yeah.
Yeah, like an H. But I love that she read this book and she was like, F you. And then she meets him in real life and she's like, we need to talk about that book. And he's like, white face. He's
Yeah,
like,
and he's like, I know, I wrote it, and now I don't agree with half the things that I wrote, but I was
yeah.
just really mad when I
That
wrote
was like
it.
a fun twist. Yeah. No, that was
Yeah,
such a funny moment. I was like, those little touches I feel like in books, like make something like from a good book to like a great book. And this book had
hmm
a lot of those like little instances where I was like, that was so good.
yeah. Did you find the romance was believable?
Yeah. I think that's one of the things I like the most about a slow burn is that it builds. Like I don't love like a super instant love, or even if they are fated mates, if they just like snap into place right away. Like I like there to be a bit of a build up. And I feel like the fact that she was like trying to like Xavier and but she felt all this turmoil in like I mean, she's supposed to kill the Guardian, she's supposed to kill Ransom, and she's like, but he's really hot. Then they slowly are like talking, and you can feel the feelings building, but she has like racked with guilt because she's supposed to love her or be attracted to her husband, and she's just not. And I feel like that turmoil really made it believable. And then when it comes out about how he is really her husband and how he saw her that very first day off the cliffs and saw her get out of the water with her red hair, and he knew he wanted her, and even how he is agrees to train her and all these little things about the relationship, like, yeah, like I was like mad that I like you're frustrated for her that everyone's been lying to her, but it is such a good, like, it made everything so believable, and it was really well done.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good reveal too. Um, Especially again, and we find out after she walks in on Jocelyn, her lady's maid, with Xavier, her husband, and a third.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what the
I forgot about
actual
the
F,
third.
guys? Like,
That's
but then
rude,
like,
though. I
but
don't care.
then I know, but then like you have that one throwaway line. I'm sorry for my dog being dumb, but you have that one throwaway line from the Guardian who's like, "Yeah, Xavier likes to share" or something like that. And so like you get that
Yes.
foreshadowing at that point, and then you find out that like, oh, Xavier likes to share, and so she's mad, and that's when she finds out the truth when she walks into Ransom. Like she tries to run away
Yeah.
from them, and he's like, "No, I can explain."
And he's like, are you really that upset about it? Or like, where did you really have feelings for him? And she's
Yeah,
like,
and she's
no,
like,
but he's
"No."
supposed to be my husband, and that's rude.
Yeah, and I
That is not
appreciated that.
okay.
I really liked that.
Yeah. No, it was really well done. And yeah, their romance and like the building, and then like later on the heartbreak when he's talking about how having Lissa and how that means he's probably going to die, and she's like, you stop talking like that. Like I've just she's like, you've been in this for a while. Like this is like I need to have hope. And I think that part is so like it's so like gut wrenching and like beautiful. And she's like, please just stop. Stop like yucking my yum for a minute. Like, could you please just
Yeah,
let me have some hope? But
yeah.
yeah, the amount of like just straight up twists and turns in this book, I was not prepared for. Like the
Mm-mm.
last 25% of this book was literally like whiplash of being like all of the
Yeah,
things. Which
yeah.
one do you think was your
I
most shocking? Most shocking piece?
I don't. I think, and again, I didn't pick up on any of this. So I think the biggest one for me was that Xavier was actually Dre and Ransom is actually Xavier. That was one of the biggest things. And I was very confused also when King Ramsay comes in and he's like, "You're like to the Guardian, like you're expected in the city or you're expected to come home or whatever." And he's like, "Actually, no. Like, the Guardian stands up to the king." And I'm like, "You're
Yeah.
just a dude. Like, he can tell you what to do." And then you find out that he's actually the prince. So like, oh, you can stand up to the king and you don't have to listen to everything he says. That blew my mind too. And like, and then I think right at the end too, when like I just need more. I need to like I can't wait for book two, but like when Brother Dime comes and rescues Odessa and Evie to like help them escape.
Rescue her? Or does he abduct?
It sounds like a rescue from what I read it because he's also very like he
Oh,
sees how she's reacted to his magic and he's very like he tries not to touch her, like he is handing her the
a
reins
little
of the
bit.
horse, like you have to follow me, like I need you, like I'm here to save you. That's how I
I don't
interpreted
trust
it.
them.
Obviously we have another two books and I could be way wrong here, but I'm
Oh, I don't
like
trust them.
I want to learn. I don't either, but I want to learn more. I don't trust the like head priest, but I think I trust Brother
Yeah,
Dime more.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, the biggest like shock was definitely Ransom's that like Luella was Ransom's mom and that
Yeah.
she created Lissa. I was like,
Yes.
what? Like that was not what I expected at all. She's like an alchemist out here like trying to make and I was like that I think was my biggest shock. I was like not expecting for her to be her mom. I thought it was the library lady, Kathleen.
Mm,
I thought
yep.
she was maybe Ransom's mom, which Odessa did as well, because I was like, oh, I picked up on that, and then it was wrong. I was like, we were both wrong. But yeah, the fact that it was Luella and that she started this whole thing.
But
And
also the
now she's
fact that
dead.
it wasn't the serum or whatever that she
No,
injected. It
the
was the fact
bite.
that it was the serum mixed with the bite. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes it more
Crazy. And then
magical.
that, yeah, yeah,
But it was kind of cool having, like, I wrote down, like, that, like, having it kind of start with the serum and alchemy and kind of like a lab thing. I'm like, what a very, like, modern theme or, like, a very modern plot point. Because, like, in the time of diseases and different things that we've all lived through, I was like, ooh,
yeah,
this is kind of like a very modern theme described in a time that it to me is obviously very like ships and swords and like a
yeah,
very like princesses, kings and queens, like very historic setting. And I was like, that's kind of a cool mix, having a like this very modern theme and set in this
hmm,
type of story. It was kind of cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How did you, so like speaking of like time settings, like how did you find that affected the story, or did it? Like did it enhance the story? Was there anything that you would change about the settings or the time, like the time frame?
No, like I genuinely really enjoy that kind of setting. Like for me, I pictured it very like ancient, or like not ancient times, but very
Like medieval, yeah.
castles, medieval. Yeah, that's and I thought that really suited it, and especially considering like the different kingdoms and stuff. Like I feel like that's an era that I enjoy reading the most. Like I like modern urban fantasy, but it has to be really done for me. Like I find the kind of medieval setting to be very forgiving, and I kind of will am drawn to it a bit more. So I think it definitely elevated it, especially like for yeah, I feel like a full modern or like urban fantasy setting wouldn't have set as well in the story.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
It felt, yeah, the way that well, yeah, I agree with everything. I agree with everything that you said.
Correct.
um, and I did appreciate too, like especially because it is a fantasy setting, I appreciated that we got a map at the beginning, and like you
I
could
love a
see
map.
very clearly like the five kingdoms. I know, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
I did though, because I read it on my Kobo, and the image in the file, the book file, wasn't super clear, so I did have to Google a map on my iPad
Yeah.
to see more clearly and like see like where things were and kind of their travel route and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I re-looked at it too on Instagram because Devney posted the map on her Instagram as well. And because yeah, I love being able to like, that's the one thing I dislike about sometimes reading on my e-reader. Because like if I have a physical book, like I will like stop and look and like see where people are. And like I very much like to have that like mapping. So that is one downfall of like reading on an e-reader. You can't just like flip back to the map. But
Mm-hmm.
no. And like I love the ship and like crossing the oceans. Like I feel like the scenes on the ship were so good. Like and no, it was
Yeah,
good.
I
I
really
very much so like
speaking of the ship scenes, I really love like Odessa's attempt to get to know Xavier. And like he's like she tries to talk to him and then the Guardian shows up. She's like, God damn it.
every
Like I
time.
wanted to talk to my husband. I didn't want to talk to you. Like go away. You're too
Yeah.
hot. Go stand somewhere else. Like
Yeah.
and
You're
then he
really
like at one point
interviewer.
yeah, and then at one point he like jumps off the ship and goes swims to the other ship. Like
Yeah. Oh,
uh it's a
ridiculous.
good it was good. I love this book
And
so
the
much.
monsters,
I
like
love
that
this book so
scene,
much.
I loved it so much. It was so hard to not chat about this book. Like every time we were like, I'm excited, and that's like all we would say. And I'm like, clearly we both really
I know.
liked it. But
Yeah,
no, it was so
one of
good.
the
And the
funniest parts,
monster,
yeah. One of my favorite parts was when she falls, like the marrow eel is like hitting the side of the ship and it tips it and she falls off and they're like, this wouldn't have happened if you just stayed on board. It's like, because I had a choice. I fell off the boat. It's my fault I fell off the boat, obviously.
Or I thought they meant because she like moved or like someone else was falling and she tried to like save them and she didn't stay where they told her to stay and she was
I
like,
know.
well, there's a lot of her being like, well, I'm an independent woman and I'll do what I want, which I appreciate from
Yeah.
the FMC. To be fair, like I like a woman who's like, maybe I'll just do what I want. Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, it's so much better in a book too when you like enjoy the FMC. Like it is hard sometimes when you have a story and you're like the story's really good and you don't like the FMC very much. But I loved Odessa, like from beginning to end, middle. Like I rocked with her the whole time.
Yeah, I agree. I really appreciated that she had so much character growth. Like she didn't start off as the chosen one who knows everything and is amazing. Like she had to really
Yeah.
work her way to becoming who she is at the end of the book. And I would presume that, so I've never read anything else by this author. This is the first
No,
first
neither have I.
Devney Perry book that it's the first time I've heard of her.
No, and she has
But I
tons of
would
books. I
presume,
didn't know.
yeah, she's written so many like contemporary romance novels, but the way that she
Mhm.
wrote Odessa, at least from what we've read so far, I would really presume that like the next two books are gonna continue to really like push her character growth, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to read the next book, and I'm kind of
I
bummed that like
know.
we picked it up now and we have to wait. Like there isn't even an announcement for book two.
I know.
Like we have to
It's only
wait
been
so
out a month
long
or so.
for the next one.
Yeah.
I
You
know.
never know though.
I know.
but but it'll be good. And yeah, I think maybe part of the reason because she was a contemporary author, like maybe that's where a lot of the humor comes from. Like,
Yeah.
oh, when her and her sister are fighting because she's just been picked as the sparrow, and Odessa's like, well, maybe he just doesn't like blondes. Like, I actually died. I was like, and her sister's like mad, throwing stuff and breaking her room, and she's like, yeah, maybe he just doesn't like blondes. Like, and I'm like, that's just
I
as someone
know.
who has sisters, I was like, yeah, that's like something you would say to your
Yeah.
sister just to be a jerk a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
that was
still
good.
also can't get over her relationship with her father and how like he didn't seem to see her until she was chosen to be the sparrow against his
Yeah.
wishes. And he's like, oh, yeah, like I actually love my daughter and I'm sad to see her leave, but also like I need a spy.
And then he's also like, oh, I wish I would have told you more, told you about your mother. And she's like, well, present is now. And he still doesn't tell her anything about her mother. And
Yeah.
I think they know whatever it is about her hair and the crops. Like her dad is definitely in the know, and I think her stepmom knows as well. Because even the stepmom was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I kind of feel bad that now you're leaving."
Yeah, I'm very
And
curious as well. She found that necklace in like the back of her closet, and I'm very
oh
curious
yeah,
how that is going to tie in. Like I think there was a reference made already to one of the books that Luella has in her
ooh,
possession of like it's the same symbol from the necklace on
symbol.
the book. Um, but there's clearly some magic or something in the necklace because it
Yeah,
warms sometimes. She can feel it like change temperature in different scenarios. So I'm
yeah.
very curious
I
to
wonder
learn
if
more
it's
about that.
something to do like if she is like some sort of like crux shifter or something. Like maybe it helps keep the crux at bay or helps keep
Maybe.
something. Like maybe even like if she were to give that to Xavier to wear, maybe it would help block Alyssa, or like maybe it's some sort of like protection was kind of my
Oh,
theory.
that's a
Maybe.
cool theory. Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe it's tied
Because there's
somehow
also
to something.
yeah. And then there's
Just
also
because it was her
the
mom's.
um yeah.
Because maybe that's how her
And then there
mom
was
was able
also
to
the thing
stay
mm,
like a woman
maybe.
and not turn back or something.
Yep.
And because the
Yep.
migration only happens like once every 30 years or something, like maybe
Yeah.
these women are just changing into crux once every 30 years or something. And this maybe helped
Maybe.
her like keep the crux off because she obviously had to have met the king and become pregnant and like all these
Yep.
things.
Yep. Yeah.
Because
And then
I
there's
guess it's only 23.
the line that says something that like the monsters are attracted to
To
Odessa in
her.
some way, and that's why there's so many
Mhm.
more. Like there's the Grizzer attack a few times, I think, and then the
Yeah.
marrow eels when they're on the water, and then like all the monsters come, and
Yeah.
she tries to fight off one of the lion things um,
Yeah.
when they're in the treehouse town.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to write
The
down all these places
tiger.
next time.
I know all the places. I
Yeah.
loved the treetop town as well. I think, did I ever say
Yeah.
that? I thought like that was such a cool visual as well. Like I really pictured that town and that place. I thought that was such like a
Hmm.
cool, that was visually very cool. But yeah, they're attracted to her. But I'm like, why are they trying if she's like a crux, why are they always trying to fight her? Like, you think they, oh, I guess
Yeah.
beasts would
And
fight against each other anyways, but maybe that's
hmm
why.
or maybe she's some like combination of I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Something.
intrigued. I'm intrigued
I'm
to learn more.
well, and I feel like whatever it is, she's about to step in her power. Like if she is part monster or something, like physically will she come? Because for me, like I always like when the main love interests are kind of equals. Like one isn't way more powerful than the other. Like, and in most books, something like they rise to the occasion and stuff. So I feel like she's about to find her power because we know that Ransom has power, and I think she's gonna, yeah, she's gonna level it out.
Hmm. Yeah, or figure out a way to cure him and so he like comes down to her level.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think again, I feel like I need to reread the book before I can come up with any like proper theories, but I would love for
Theories.
her because she spoke so much about like trying to like help him find a cure. I think I want him to become human again, but like he's still able to fight obviously, but he doesn't have his like crazy monster speed. But she's now continued her training, and so she's more on his level when he becomes ordinary again. I think I would really like that. And then they figure out how to like protect the protect the kingdoms, or like maybe all the monsters, like if the Crux are women, are all the monsters humans that have turned as
Ooh,
well.
that would be cool. And maybe now they
So
just can't
like
back, or they've like lost their humanity.
yeah, so like
That's cool.
they have to figure out a way to return these monsters to their human states.
That's a
Maybe.
cool way to
I
think
again,
about it.
I need to reread the book and I'm
'Cause
probably really wrong, but yeah.
mm, I feel like I'm slightly more in the camp that I don't think there'll be 100% cure. Like I feel like there will be like a way to like hold it back or tamper it off. But I think it'll be more of like he's kind of changed, but maybe he won't get worse.
Mm.
Like physically has changed. Kind of like I kind of picture Ransom a lot like Geralt from The Witcher. Like that kind of like he's a bit of like a mutant now. Like his self is changed and mutated, and there's not really any fully going back.
Mm.
But it's maybe can be like tampered or he can keep it off. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to kind of see which way that it goes.
Yeah.
But I think yeah, because there's definitely something. But I didn't think about the other monsters being people, being like
Yeah, and
an
again, like
option.
I pulled that out of the air right now. Like I have no
Just
idea if
right
that's
now.
like I don't
Yeah.
know. I haven't thought a whole lot about theories. Um,
No.
yeah, I have a lot of hopes. Like I hope the Voster aren't bad. I
Oh,
hope Brother Dime isn't leading her to her death. I hope nothing bad happens to Evie.
oh my God, Evie or Faze. No, nothing with
Yeah,
Faze. I'm
yeah.
like me, like
Like how
I just
cool
hoping
would
she
it
gets to keep him.
I
I don't
know.
want
Like,
him
how
to
cool would
return
it
to the
be if,
light.
like, FaZe grows up and because he's grown up around her, like, he's now her protector. And so he'll stand between her and the monsters that are trying to get to her because she has whatever thing that draws them to her. You know, like,
Yeah, I know.
there's
There's so many
so
questions
many good tidbits and so many, yeah,
that Oh,
Yeah.
and that one, the one-eyed Bari wolf. What's up with that dude?
Yeah.
Like, if that's actually
Yeah.
like a that with your theory, even if like maybe there are people who have turned, like maybe he's kept some more of his like human self, more like he isn't fully wild. He has some like
Hmm.
of himself, and that's why he's like strategizing and stuff. Because that was crazy when she's like, I feel like they're like it's not just like a melee of everything going crazy. Like they came in with like a strategy and a hunt, and maybe that's
Yeah.
because he's like retained some of his consciousness. Like that
Yeah.
would be cool. That would be cool. There's so much that can be done. The ending of that book was wild. People that we love are dead. Some people that we thought would be very important and would need in the future are now dead
Yep.
or dying.
Yep.
Luella, I did not expect her to get chomped.
No.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Like both of
And
the
of course, I
handmaidens,
would
or no,
say it
Jocelyn for
makes
sure.
sense. Like, I would say it makes sense that Luella died
Oh,
because she's the answer. So
the
kill
answer,
her off. And now they have to figure it out on their
obviously.
own. Like,
Yeah.
duh. But like, for my heart and my sanity and my well-being, I didn't want her to die.
No, Evie didn't even get to learn that that was her mother. And I was like, oh.
Right?
She also had, yeah, all the answers. Do you think Dre will be okay, or do you think he'll die? Because he's just injured
I
at the end. But he's
He
like,
is. I hope he's okay. I want him to be okay because I
I think
want,
he'll be
obviously,
okay.
he's such a good dad to Evie. And I think that, um, like, obviously, we got answers and, like, why Dre and Ransom did what they did. But I feel like there is a lot more to unpack there still. Um,
Definitely.
and I think that, like, Odessa just needs more answers and more support in that area.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, there's definitely some characters that I like, I'm worried for, but I think he'll be okay in the end. Like, I think him being hurt, but I think he'll make it. But for like Tilla's husband, now that she's like pregnant and stuff, I'm like, I worry for this man's safety. I'm like, you have a healthy, loving relationship on a baby on the way. Doesn't look good for you, my friend.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No.
That we're like, yep, books.
Yeah.
But
I
their
know. I
relationship
love
was
this so
so
much.
sweet, and they were like childhood sweethearts and stuff. And no, as I say, oh, with Tilla, I love that their relationship like softened her, and the fact that she was like this hardened general, like she's a total badass, but she has love and like soft parts, like because I feel like with a lot of like female characters that are like the badass general or whatnot, they're always like single or they don't have any like feminine touches to them at all. And she was like, no, I can have both. Like she is both, which is amazing. And I don't feel like you see that very often.
Yeah, I agree. And I also really liked too when Odessa and Tilla are moving, like they're traveling together, and she sees her and the Guardian like off chatting, and she thinks that they're involved romantically, and she's like, "He's not
Yes.
my husband, but I don't want them to be together." Like, and she's just so
No.
mad about it. And there's just something so like visceral about how she hates seeing them together. And then she learns that Tilla has a husband, and she's like, "Oh, okay, we're fine now. Like, she's my friend."
Perfect. Oh my God, though, I feel like that's so
Yep.
relatable. Like everyone's had like a little crush or a something, and then you find out they're with someone else, you think someone else might be, and you're just like, they're not mine, they're not my man, but I don't really necessarily want to see it. I feel like that's just such like a human relatable
Yeah. Oh, I agree. 100%. Yep. Okay. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
wrap it up already. I'm like, I feel like there's still
Yeah.
like you could just go on
I
forever.
know. I know.
No, I think overall, like this was just a really good book. Like I'm just genuinely there gave you it like I love when I hate if the first book ends and you feel like you didn't get any answers or anything. Like I feel like they at least gave you a good basis to start the second book off. But like I'm so excited to see where it goes. Like, oh, this is why we hate to read unfinished trilogies and stuff. but also it's kind of nice to wait it out. But I think this is going to be a good one. I hope it stays good. I'd be crushed if this one didn't end well, but I think it will. I think the writing is phenomenal. I laughed, I cried. Overall, just a great book. It was a 5-star read for me, definitely.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this is it's one of my favorite books of the year so far. I'm definitely going to pick up a physical copy as a trophy for my bookshelf. And yeah, I'm like you said, I hope this series just gets progressively better. Um, Again, I've never read anything by this author before, so now I'm very tempted to pick up more of her work just to find out more about the author and how she writes. But yeah, I
100%.
cannot wait for book two and then book three. And I just hope it's a really satisfying ending. Like altogether, I hope that it's a really, I mean, so far
Yeah,
we enjoyed the story. So I hope it just keeps getting better and better.
100%. No, I'm definitely with you there. I have high hopes for the series, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna follow through. Like, I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, that's a wrap on our first discussion of Shield of Sparrows with Double Booked. If you've made it this far, leave a comment of what your favorite part of Shield of Sparrows is if you have read it. If you haven't, leave us a comment of what you're looking forward to when it comes to this book. And Crystal, what are we reading next time?
Next time we are reading, so this is our Smutty Book Club selection, and it is called Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. And it is kind of set in a ranch. It's supposed to be like a treasure hunt. I think it's a second chance romance, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I've only just started it. I know Christina has finished it, but it
Yes, I
is,
have.
yeah, kind of like a Western ranch contemporary, which we're here in Calgary, Alberta, and we have the Stampede coming up. So we are all things cowboys for the next like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that really inspired our book club choice because who doesn't love a cowboy romance, especially when you're surrounded by cowboys? So I think this will be a really fun, light, low stakes read for us, especially after all the craziness that happened in Shield of Sparrows.
Yes, absolutely. So if you want to join us next time, feel free to pick up a copy of Something Wilder by Christina Lauren from your local bookstore, your local library, and join us as we discuss it.
See you next time.
See you next time.